Good day to you viewers, the Colonel speaking to you live from the Preceptor of British Imperial YouTube Broadcasting. Today we've got a Decca record, and it came in that lot of French records I found a few weeks ago, and this is a very odd record. It's an American Decca, 15056, Erbert Pinwickle's Ride by Paul Gerard Smith, read by Pat O'Malley, the Lancashire lad. It's a sort of takeoff of the Albert records by Stanley Holloway, written by, not Wolsey Charles, the other bloke. Anyway, this bloke is sort of impersonating, but the other side was not in the very best of taste. And I'm beginning to wonder if that's why they're not on UK recordings. Here we go.
One morning, Mrs. Pinwickle said, "Father, you must get rid of Herb for the day. If I have him around me for 5 minutes more, I'm afraid that my mind will give way." "But where will I take him?" said Father. "What'll I do with the kid?" All over the town the police have put signs, "Dogs and Herbert are strictly forbid." Then, chancing to glance through the paper, Mother said, "I think I've found a way. You can bundle him off to the racetrack. They're running the derby today." So Father took Herb to the racetrack with a heart that was heavy as stone, and all the way down he kept figuring out how to lose him and come home alone. Everyone at the racetrack was excited and tense, but Father was sullen and grim, until he spied a dapper young chap named Malloy, who worked at the office with him. Now this Malloy was a bit of a sportsman, and he whispered in Pinwickle's ear, "If you're going to bet on the derby, lay your money on Queen Genevieve. I know she isn't a favourite, and she's running at 20 to 1. But if she doesn't win, it's simply because something happens that she doesn't run." Now Father, though thrifty and cautious, could not resist odds such as those. So he wrenched £2 out of his wallet and laid it on Genevieve's nose. Now scarce had he picked up his ticket when Malloy came right back again, quick. "Don't bet on Queen Genevieve," said Malloy. "She hasn't a chance. Smiley's sick. Smiley, you see, is her jockey. He's the only one she understands. Anyone who approaches her, she kicks 'em to death, but she's putty in young Smiley's hands. There's not nobody who can go near her. There's absolutely nothing to be done. She's a four-legged devil till Smiley shows up, and Smiley's got a boil on his elbow." Well, the shock of these words stopped old Pinwickle short. It was just like a man made of wood. He looked at his ticket and then looked at Herb, and neither look did him much good. Then suddenly Herb said, "You leave it to me. I'm not scared of no horse ever built. Just point out the stall." But Malloy quickly said, "Don't go near that horse. You'll be killed." Then Father Pinwickle turned quick to Malloy. "Let him go if he wants to," he said. "I hate to lose money, but if I lose Herb, well, at least I'll be that much ahead." So Herb disappeared in a hole in the fence, and Pinwickle said with a sigh, "His ma will be glad when I tell her the news. Let's go and watch the horses go by." They elbowed their way through the crowd to the rail, and looking away down the track, they saw Genevieve was lined up with the rest, and young Herb was on Genevieve's back. Well, Father was stunned, so he closed both his eyes and then opened them after a while to see young Herb whisper in Genevieve's ear, and the horse answered back with a smile. "They're off!" people shouted, and forward they sprang, that is, all except Genevieve. Then again Herb leaned forward and, quite nonchalant, whispered something in Genevieve's ear. The horse merely nodded and let out a snort, and suddenly started to run, and she went by so fast that old Pinwickle thought she was something shot out of a gun. When she reached the quarter, the rest of the pack was at least half a mile up ahead. But Erbert leaned forward and whispered again, and she passed them as though they were dead. She came into the stretch doing 90 an hour, and she finished the winner, and then she kept right on going like mad round the track, passed the others and finished again. Again she went round and again passed the rest, and I give you my solemnest word, she finished again 7 lengths out in front, so she came in first, second and third. Pinwickle collected at 90 to 1. Oh, he was excited no end. He reached down and patted young Erbert, his son, and gave him twopence to spend. The rest of the spectators gathered round Herb to find out just what he had said, to make the horse Genevieve do what she did. But Herb merely blushed very red. It was nothing at all, was his modest reply. It was as simple could be. I understand horses, they understand me. We speak the same language, you see. Then Father stepped up with a satisfied grunt and said, "It's just a matter of course. It proves a suspicion that I've always had, that Erbert is part of a horse."
Did you hear that, viewers? That recording was slightly faulty, but quite amusing nonetheless. A bit in poor taste, but there we are. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you and goodbye.